Hi everyone, and welcome to our Moon Vibes. This vibe is in your face. If you haven't felt it already, you might start to feel it soon, or probably start to feel it during this meditation. This is quite a sneaky one, but sneaky in a good way, because this vibe is going to call us all on our stuff. And when I say that, I mean your integrity. I mean that in your personality, who you are. How have you been showing up in your life? How have you been showing up in your career, your relationships, your friendships? How have you been showing up towards yourself? You see, we always have this idea, we have this image of who and what we are and what we should look like, what we should be. And normally this projection comes from what we think others want to see. It comes from what we assume people would like us to perhaps even be. Now, what comes with this, as you probably can see here already where I'm heading towards this path, is a lack of integrity within our sense of self. It's lack of honesty. And we sometimes now might have two polarities here where we're like, well, my intentions are good. It's not that I'm trying to be bad about being perhaps a little bit different or trying to fit in a little bit more or to be accepted a little bit more. But then we also have the part where a person can change, but perhaps with negative intentions, perhaps with the intentions to manipulate, with the intentions to control. So this is kind of where this vibe is asking you, where on this spectrum are you? Or are you finding yourself in all of it? That could perhaps also be the case, because let's be honest, there are parts and aspects of all of us who revert to manipulative behavior sometimes, who revert to controlling behavior. It might be that we revert to aspects and parts of ourselves where we're not really being true to who we really are. Probably more so rather than normal, depending on maybe the circumstances, depending on the people, the friendship dynamics. And I know that as I'm saying this, your mind's probably going a million miles an hour. Where have I done this? Where have I done it? Oh, yeah, I see myself there. And if you are, fantastic. Soul searching is always a good thing. But I invite you here with this exercise, and what we're going to be doing today is to not look at and pointing fingers at yourself and saying, oh, but you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You should have done that. Maybe you should do this a little bit better. Here's where you're not being true to yourself. Let's just take a deep breath, right? Let's just, that self-criticism, easy. Take it easy, because that's not what this whole process is about. What this process is about is looking at how do these certain behavioral patterns serve you? What is it that you're actually getting out of it? Because there's a reason why you're doing it. We don't do things just for the sake of doing it. You know, sometimes you might say, well, yeah, kind of, there are sometimes things like that. Well, I'm saying like, no, there's not. It's just that you're not conscious of the hidden benefits as to why we sometimes behave the way that we do in certain circumstances. Now, in this specific example that I'm trying to explore here with you is maybe there is an aspect of lack within us. There's something missing within us that causes us to think and feel that we have to behave certain ways, that we have to show up in different forms, that we have to say things that we might not necessarily mean. But it's the right thing to do. It's expected. Or you think, or you assume that is what people want to hear. So what's happening over time is that we start to defragment even more and more and more from our sense of self. We start to defragment from who we think we are, or who at least we want to be, to who we think we should be. It leaves a very big gap between us and them, meaning us trying to be connected to our sense of self and also wanting to be connected to them, meaning relationships, dynamics, whatever it is that you feel or perceive as being, of course, outside of you. Now, My experience with what I've seen so far with this vibe is it really does boil down for me more so. Yes, there's lack, yes, there's fear, but more so towards coping mechanisms. And when I say coping mechanisms, I mean that in the sense of behaving perhaps in a controlling or manipulative way, with the intention to cope within circumstances, because there could perhaps be a part of you that feels out of your depth, that feels awkward, that feels perhaps incompetent in some way or another. And then you revert back perhaps to a type of behavior to manipulate or to control a person or the circumstances so that the situation feels more comfortable for you again, right? So moving from feeling discomfort to feeling more comfortable. But in order for you to move from that place of discomfort to feeling more comfortable, sometimes certain actions that might be out of alignment with our true character is what's called for, because we don't have any other resources to help us to feel resilient or to feel strong or to feel competent in certain situations. So now you can see where I'm starting to move towards this. And if you've been having perhaps some headaches, maybe some neck pain, then yeah, that's exactly what could be happening here, because it's all about needing to control. It's all about needing to control the direction and the way that we're trying to move into our lives with others. And also trying to control perhaps how we show up towards or within towards other people or different circumstances. So guys, also, if you want to find out more also about hidden messages in your body when you have certain ailments or pains or whatever it is that you have, grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy. You can grab it on Amazon or the metaphysicalapp.com. Grab your mobile phone app and see what is even more going on there. If you feel discomfort in the body, there's always a reason why. So, what I would love to do with you here is to explore this part of you that is feeling a little bit unsettled, that is feeling a little bit, I have to revert to something else other than who I am in order to feel safe again. So let's have a look at where and how we show up when we do need to be honest, when we do need to show integrity, when we do face places of perhaps opposition, and how we shift out from being who we really truly are and shifting to a part or an aspect of us that is not authentic, but all for the sake of coping. So there's an inner spectrum within us that we feel is failing us, that we cannot stand strong within our true, authentic sense of self during stressful circumstances. So guys, when you are ready, I invite you now to take a nice deep breath. And I invite you to stay focused on your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Also focusing on these beautiful air molecules that you're breathing in. Becoming aware of the power that they have by bringing life to your lungs and bringing life to your body, your mind, your goals and your dreams. Appreciating something so simple, yet so incredibly powerful. And just also inviting you to hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful light flowing from your head, down your shoulders, your arms, your body, your legs, out your feet. Resolving and dissolving any old stress that you feel throughout every single cell in your body. Feeling this beautiful light is just releasing and flushing out other people's stress that you might have taken on. And just feeling your body becoming more relaxed, lighter and lighter. Feeling the tension just draining out of your body, just down, 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 into the earth. Just feeling your body also expanding. And just becoming aware, first of all, that part of you where I would like you now to just observe in your sense of self. I invite you now to perhaps feel within your body. Where do you feel perhaps it's a part of you that is lacking honesty? That is lacking integrity? Let go of needing to think of a specific situation or person or circumstances. Focus on the feeling, the lack of that. Where in your body do you feel it? And as you are observing that part within you, I invite you now to perhaps look at what could that message be in that place and space. I invite you to be creative. Pretend that that part in your body had a voice. And if it did, what would it say to you right now? Regardless of what the voice said, here's another question. Whose face or voice did you perhaps hear, feel, see, or sense when you became aware of the message? I invite you perhaps now to think whoever's face or voice it is that you became aware of. If it's yours, then it could perhaps be a message where you have been maybe a bit too hard on yourself. But the reason why you are, or you're saying that, could be because of someone else's action or reaction towards you. And if you heard or sensed someone else, it begs the question, are you expressing perhaps this coping mechanism that you share with them? Meaning that you maybe copy someone else's behavior. Are you maybe expressing someone else's lack? Just be with it for a few seconds. And then even if you perhaps don't feel clear about the answers, just sit with it. Be with it. Now I invite you to observe, what do you emotionally need in order for this lack of fulfillment within you to be resolved? What do you need? And the next question is, what step can you take today to start to bring you closer to that? Bring you closer to that emotional resource. Meaning by experiencing it, by creating more of that in your life. Even if it's just a small step, that's perfect. What small change that can you make that you can commit to today? I invite you to take a nice deep breath with all this awareness that you have right now. And let this deep breath represent and symbolize now a new chapter where you have now made a commitment to yourself to start making small changes, taking small steps, to bringing yourself closer and closer to your true, authentic self. And if you also wish to do a healing session based on what you discovered today, I would highly recommend that you go to www.guidedhealingsession.com. And thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, be the light that you are.
Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and remember to grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy on Amazon, 679 medical ailments. And I also wrote about the psychosomatic root causes of that, and I'm spoiling it because I even added key points for you to start looking at important questions that you can ask yourself to start improving your quality of life. And also remember to catch me on Instagram, Evette Rose, 1 with the digit 1, and Metaphysical Anatomy on our Facebook fan page. Bye guys!